Yo, what is up, y'all? My name is Devin, and today I'm going to be talking about... He couldn't have timed that shit more perfect. Today I'm going to be talking about characters that helped me realize that I was a transgender individual. When I was a girl, they helped me realize that I wanted to be a man. But before I get into that, make sure if you're new here, new as in not, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I really feel corny as shit for saying that. If you're interested in one-on-one personal training, go ahead and email me, devindoescoaching@gmail.com. It will be in the description down below. I'm gonna stop holding you hostage. Let's fucking go. Something that I don't think a lot of us realize is how much content, like what we're consuming while we're growing up, really has a large effect on us. Growing up, I watched a shit ton of movies and TV shows, and that's simply because I had no fucking friends, okay? I really didn't have any friends. So pretty much all I did all day was watch movies, watch TV shows, play guitar. Enough of this sob story for Devin. Let me get into the characters that helped me realize that I wanted to be a man. The first character, you guys are gonna be like, wow, Devin, how cliche of you. What the fuck? I almost said Jacob from Twilight. Taylor Lautner. So Taylor Lautner's not a character, but him throughout all of his roles, I really resonated, or at least I like to imagine that I resonated with Taylor Lautner a lot. When he was Shark Boy from Shark Boy and Llama Girl, I really fucking wanted to be him. He was just doing backflips and shit. Like, he was super cool. He had the spiked hair. If you guys don't know what my hair looked like before I transitioned, I used to get perms because my mom was white. She didn't know what to do with my hair, and my dad really didn't give a fuck. Can you imagine how crazy I would look with spiked hair? And then after that, seeing him in Twilight, that's when, I don't know, when did Twilight come out? Like 2011, something like that. I don't know. When Twilight came out and Taylor Lautner like was a wolf running around shirtless, wearing only George, jumping off of cliffs and shit. Why do trans guys feel such a like connection to wolves? I don't understand. Maybe it's because they're warriors and we'd like to think that we're warriors as well. Watching Taylor Lautner be jacked as fuck. He had the tattoos going on, which I low-key don't give a fuck about tattoos anymore, but at the time it was super fucking cool. He was also a little bit darker, and growing up I always thought that he was like some sort of Native American of some sort. I don't know. I always thought that he was Native American, but whatever. So he was sort of like my skin tone. He was a darker guy, and watching him in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, Cheaper by the Dozen, and then in Twilight, I really deadass thought this guy was cool as shit. It's funny because I had a poster of him as Jacob from Twilight on my wall growing up. My dad was like, oh, like my daughter has a crush on Taylor Lautner. Really more so like I'm doing push-ups in my room at night. More so like I wanted to be him, not that I had a crush on him. I think a lot of us can relate to that. He's the first guy. The next guy that really sort of changed things for me was Elliot Fletcher. So seeing Elliot Fletcher on the Fosters really changed my perspective. At that point, I'd barely seen any trans guys. At this point, I thought that trans meant like drag. He really was the guy who was like, he was on testosterone, he had top surgery, he was totally cis-passing. People only had to know that he was trans if he disclosed that to them. And that was something that I never thought was possible. I always thought I was just gonna be a masculine girl, and seeing Elliot Fletcher go on the Fosters.
I know I was like the worst date ever.
Not the worst. You know I went to prom with Lindsay, but what you don't know is that she got drunk and threw up in my mouth. Literally.
Ew. I mean it.
Yeah.
That shit just totally took me by surprise. You know, he was dating the main character within the show, so that was a pretty big role for him to have. It's true as fuck that representation does matter, because at this point, I didn't really feel like I resonated with anybody, and I didn't know that there was a path that I could even take. I always thought like, maybe if I just kill myself, trigger warning, whatever the fuck, or if I just die or whatever, I'll be reincarnated as a boy in my next life. I'm ass out for this life. So he really helped me be like, okay, there's another option for me. I don't just have to suffer. And then I found his YouTube, and I found out about hormones. I found out about like top surgery and all of this, which obviously I'm not a giant proponent of, but just finding out that you could go on hormones for people not to just be able to look at me and tell like, oh, he used to be a girl. It's almost like I got secondhand gender euphoria just by looking at this guy on the fucking screen. And the next character, which comes a little bit before Elliot Fletcher as a trans character and played by a cis woman, funnily enough. That's not a fucking word, Devin, funnily enough. A lot of you guys might know about the show Degrassi. Whatever it takes, I know I can make it through. If you know, you know. Degrassi was my fucking shit. So on Degrassi, there was this character named Adam. At that time, I think it was like 2007, 2008, 2009. Adam is played by a cis woman. Like, she's completely cis, I'm 99% sure. Seeing Adam portrayed by a cis woman, it kind of perpetuated this idea that I had that I was just gonna be a girl pretending to be a boy, so fuck it, I'll just be a dyke. Fuck it, if this is what being trans means, like you're a girl who wears hoodies and you know, you gotta beg people to call you a boy, I'm out of it. I don't want that life for myself. But then again, in the same breath, seeing that character did also open my eyes to the fact that trans people exist. I don't know how helpful that was in the long term, because it sort of made me take a step back from the idea of transitioning. Seeing a trans person when you're like 8, 9, 10 years old it's sort of like, whoa, what is this? Ryan Gosling. So seeing Ryan Gosling in Crazy Stupid Love made me be like, bro, I'm a guy. The scene where Emma Stone, like I used to have a giant crush on Emma Stone from like Easy A. That time period, I really had a fucking crush on her. Seeing her run across this guy's dope ass house and he picks her up like Dirty Dancing style. He has the abs. She's like, oh my God, the abs. I was like, damn, I'm trying to have somebody look at me like that. You know, he got a nice haircut. He cared about how he looked. He cared about how he presented himself. He was a clean cut guy that really made me like start to care about how I look. Even now, like you guys remember, like I had this scruff going on. I started shaving my face, shaving my neck, and I just feel like as a man, taking care of your body, taking care of yourself, smelling good, being clean, having nice skin if you can control it, whatever you can do. Whenever you meet people, you want to put your best foot forward. You don't want to meet somebody and they're like, this person is sloppy. You want somebody to meet you and they're like, damn, like this person clean and approachable. And I know a lot of people may feel like, oh, people shouldn't judge you just based off of your appearance, but how you present yourself is how people are going to judge you. So you have to acknowledge that and you have to act accordingly. So seeing his character like that really sort of instilled that in me, and I certainly didn't get that from being a girl, because as a girl I was sloppy as shit. Like I was just a little bit chunky, I was sloppy, I didn't care about my hair. I just kind of felt like, what's the point? I don't fucking like this vessel anyway, so I'll just throw it all to hell. But now I sort of feel more so like I want to present myself in a nice way, and seeing his character in that light really helped bring that out of me, if that makes sense. Those are the characters that really impacted me as a young Devin and really helped mold me into the Devin I am today, helped me realize I could be a man, and helped me realize that this life is even a possibility for me. You guys drop what characters helped you realize you were trans in the comment section down below. Deadass, I really want to know. Like I said, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, go ahead and email me. Like I always say, Devin loves you, Devin's a Don, and Devin is out of here, boy.